On the weekend of the 13th and the 14th of November, SCWBI held a writers' conference, all around writing for young adults. The pun? Yahoo! I managed to get a scholarship-funded ticket as a chronically disabled writer who's housebound, who normally couldn't attend these sorts of events in person. I was actually too ill to attend the 2-day Zoom sessions over the weekend, so this is my vlog, recording my response to the keynote speeches as I go and giving you my feedback to each of them. It's later in the day, and I'm just about to watch the keynote speech from Mallory Blackman. She's a very engaging talker. She gave a real insight into her writing process, and intriguingly, she, even as a plotter, had to learn how to write a series as time went on. Even someone as famous and award-winning as Mallory Blackman needs to thrash out plots with family members, husband, daughter, etc. And that makes it really relatable for people like me, just starting out. She also had an outstanding 82 rejections before she got published. And she said something really interesting, which was the first 40 or so rejections were earned, and after that, the next 20 or so, it was her doing her kind of like an apprenticeship, where she started getting guidance from editors about what she ought to be improving on, which was really helpful to go through. It gives people like me hope. My takeaway from it is that as creatives, we need to give ourselves a break. Whenever we get feedback, we immediately hone in on the criticism and the things that we need to improve, as if it's a to-do list that needs to be checked off. And we ignore everything positive, we fixate on the negative. And we need to embrace the positive as well. Jasper fit a lot into 20 minutes. Before moving on to answering questions, he explored the history of story writing, from evolution of the human mind to developing the mechanism to speculate, through to Alice in Wonderland, breaking all moral teaching story conventions to create an entirely different world with its own rules. He talked about why writers write, what they aim to do, and how we can weaponize our own imposter syndrome and low self-esteem to push ourselves in our craft to get better at it. My takeaway from Jasper's keynote speech? We're writing for ourselves first. Subject matter doesn't matter. The joy of writing does. Lewis Carroll forged his own path with Alice in Wonderland, throwing conventional moral story writing out the window, and created an entirely new self-contained world. He knew nothing of being a writer and forged his own path. Jasper described it as like being his own locomotive in writing. Your journey is entirely your own and unique, and by being yourself, you can become the best you can possibly be. I thoroughly enjoyed Yahoo. It was inspirational, and it gave me a lot of ideas, motivation, tips, things to think about going forward with my own work. And if you get the opportunity to go to Yahoo or to attend any of the other events that SCWBI put on, I highly recommend you give it a go. But that's it for me today. I have to go now because I've got some writing to do, as I continue to write my story, one day at a time.